is.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And then not be cock blocking him.
For some reason, my brain goes to Dale and Andrea have a thing, like a romantic sexual thing.
Sure.
Which may or may not be true. I don't know that we've actually seen any of that in the show, have we?
No, I think that
it might have been hinted at.
I've gotten some hints, yeah.
Okay.
That Dale, I don't think Andrea feels that way towards him, but I think he feels that way towards Andrea.
Well, let's put it this way: Dale wasn't staying at the CDC for what's her name?
Yeah,
who was
Carol
in like two scenes.
No, we already have a Carol.
She was in like 2 scenes in season 1. I can't remember her name.
Right.
But he wasn't staying there for her; he was staying there for Andrea.
Shit, yeah,
so there's some sort of connection there. I think it was like 60% for like jealousy.
Okay.
Jealousy for Shane.
I also think so, and for this one reason, he was not very smart about the way he went about it. Like, contrast him confronting with the unstable Shane with him confronting... I mean...
With Herschel.
He basically... Going at Shane the way he did is roughly as smart as blackmailing Batman.
That's a good point.
I mean, you've got... And I liked how Shane called it out. It's like, I killed Otis in cold blood and tried to kill my best friend, who I think is a brother. And what do you think I'm going to do to someone I don't even like?
Some old man.
That was chilling.
That was, and this was a phenomenal scene.
That's the first time I've seen the guy. What's his name? The guy
John Bernthal.
That's the first time I've actually been impressed with the way he delivered something.
Really? See, I like him. I like his acting a lot.
I just think
so. I thought this was
the accent and the lobes getting away from me.
Well, okay, there are the lobes, but
right.
I don't know. I thought the scene was really good. And Shane makes a good point that the group would definitely not be better off without him right now. I don't think that him leaving is a good idea.
Really?
No, because he's the one thinking pragmatically, thinking seriously about how are we going to keep this
honestly,
group alive.
I think he's a little too pragmatic, man. Like, and we gotta listen. I'm going to step on the listeners' toes because we got some good feedback on that. But I just think it's way too early in the zombie apocalypse to be sacrificing the Otises of the world.
Okay. The only reason I would want him to leave is because he is a dancing machine when he gets pissed. He dances around like they can't even keep a camera on him.
Yeah,
he sways in the wind so much.
He was weaving like a prize fighter.
Yeah, he was. I thought they were going to start boxing. I really did.
Yeah, I didn't notice that but I thought that brought a lot of like cage tiger intensity to the scene.
Absolutely, yeah. So good stuff. Then the final scene, we see Rick confronting Lori after finding the pills. Wow, this is another good scene. These last 2 scenes were phenomenal, in my opinion. And
I like the fact that Lori and Rick have completely come clean about the pregnancy, about, they could have... I almost thought they were going to do it when she paused for a long time, but she came clean about Shane and him. So do you think... Were you happy with the way that went down?
I am. I think...
Were you happy with Rick's reaction to it?
I was, because every other time I've seen Rick deal with something, it's kind of like a little bit reserved. And in this, he was shouting.
Yeah.
He was wildly gesturing. He was visibly angry.
And when she told him about Shane and confirmed that, I thought he showed about 10 different emotions in the space of 10 seconds and then basically shoved it down his gut and say...
Pulled the Shane.
And say, hey, I knew. It's been in the back of my mind this whole time. I thought that was... I really liked this performance.
Yeah, and that was him, I think, saying, I should have known. Like, it was there. I should have picked up on that.
And that you can't...
And I had a little bit, but I hadn't really formulated the thought.
Right.
So, pretty cool there.
I thought it was believable. A lot of people had a problem with him being that rational and... but what is he going to do?
Yeah, what other option? He pulls out his gun and shoots her?
Yeah,
Like,
divorces her.
Okay, yeah. If they can find a justice of the peace anywhere, go ahead.
I mean, he's judging her on what she's done since, and she hasn't been anything but faithful. And he hasn't even known how, like, she's fended off a rape and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So
I was happy with it. And I was totally happy that he called her out on being a hypocrite, too. Kind of, indirectly. He was like, how long have you known?
Do you think that Shane and Rick will have some sort of conversation about this? Because that's the next shoe that I want to see drop. Now that Rick knows, is he going to have a conversation and make this good with Shane? Like, look, I know this happened, blah, blah, blah. I forgive you.
I think
how will Shane take that?
I think that does need to happen, but I hope he waits until what I think is going to happen is until Shane and Andrea have a connection or a stronger bond, you know?
Okay.
Because then I think it will go a lot better than if he tries to pull it out now.
Okay.
Because no, Andrea's the only one pulling anything out. No, I think it'll go a lot better once his concern is less with Lori and more with Andrea. So just hold off a little longer, Rick. It'll all work out. I did want to talk a little bit about kind of the reset that went on in this episode, because other than Sophia being gone, who we don't care about,
and Carol doesn't either. I mean, she just like didn't give like any news. No. Oh, okay. Can I make you some sandwich? I mean, she just really is casual about Sophia at this point.
I think Carol is playing it like a woman in Carol's position would, because she's been a battered wife. She's constantly been told what to do, not getting involved in anything. I think she's just waiting for the people in charge to figure this out. To
go with the flow. Yeah, I hinted on that a couple episodes, that I think that's a good read for her character as it's being portrayed.
I do too, yeah. But I did want to talk about, like, all the secrets are out, like you said. Everybody came clean with Rick. Everybody knows what's up with the barn and Herschel. And they've ended a lot of storylines that weren't going to go anywhere. Like, what's going to happen if Herschel says, sure, you can stay on this farm, no problem. And there aren't walkers in the barn. All we get is one walker every few months. Well, the show is bullshit. Nothing's going to happen.
Okay.
No one wants to watch that. So I'm glad to see that they're moving things along. They found this housing development, which I hope goes somewhere, you know.
Right.
So I'm glad they moved it along, because it was getting pretty stale, in my opinion.
Sure.
And hopefully next episode, Sophia is done one way or another. Alive, dead, zombified, I don't care.
Right.
Come back with Merle, come back parachuting out of a plane. I don't give a shit. Just get this done.
If the Sophia plotline goes into season 2.5, I will be officially pissed. Yep. Yeah. That would be pretty shitty.
So overall, I really liked this episode. I thought there was great acting. They moved the story along quite well, and I'm pleased.
Yeah, I'd say that this is an above-average episode of television, and they need to keep it up.
Definitely. I'm going to do the Kill of the Week and the Idiot Survivor of the Week. Kill of the Week obviously goes to Glenn for saving the hottest girl on the farm, right?
Yeah, plus who would have thought that Glenn would ever get a Kill of the Week?
Yeah, he steps it up with a hatchet. I love it.
Not just like shelving units.
That's true, yeah.
You know, it's funny because when I used to work at Walmart as a teenager, I used to think, because part of my job was breaking down those gondolas and cleaning them and all that stuff. Sure. And what you don't know is the ones at Walmart anywhere are pretty heavy metal. And
sturdy.
On the edges, they got this like jigsaw thing that makes them fit into it. And I always thought, I was like, God damn. If you got caught in the head with one of these things, it would end you. It would end you. And that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, yeah, my theory got played out.
Awesome.
You not fuck with the shelving unit. No.
Definitely, yeah. An Idiot Survivor of the Week goes to Herschel for convincing his entire family that the monsters in the barn are still the family.
Right.
The Idiot Survivor of the Week. Because there actually wasn't a whole lot of idiotic things in this episode, right?
Oh.
Really? Does the Survival Master have another take on it?
It's going to be actually, like last episode, it's going to be tough to find some solid ones. Like I said, Andrea walking alone down the road.
Starting at the end of the road and leaving the car.
So there's a couple but not like the first episode where I had I had to leave things out deliberately.
Or last episode with Andrea shooting Daryl.
That was a tough one because that was one big one, and 75% of the article was about that. But other than that, I was just making jokes.
Yeah,
about Dale post hoc cock blocking Glenn.
Yep.
If you like that, every Friday at noon, I post a survival review, and it's basically a tongue in cheek review of the Survivor. I do make, I think, valid points of like when they do stupid things, but I play it for laughs.
But it's really funny. Okay, why don't we do some listener feedback?
Okay.
Yeah, don't seem too enthusiastic.
Just first off, for our next project, I know a lot of people are saying we got even more everyone wants us to do Boardwalk Empire.
Everyone wants us to do a different show. Like
No,
there are 40
no,
shows on the
no.
list. Yeah,
there's like,
there
if I
are.
pie chart this out, there's like 80% of people want us to do Boardwalk Empire.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think, but my question is, shouldn't we wait till next season to start that? Because we'd be coming in on season 3, basically. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
But we don't want to come in half season.
No, it's like I think
Mid-season.
that's a bad way to go. There's a lot of some people made some good defenses of how you could do Louis and some other comedy shows. Someone mentioned Arrested Development. Is there an audience for an admittedly hilarious comedy show that was off the air 5 years ago? I mean,
There is a huge it's a huge cult following for Arrested Development, but I don't know that people are actively watching and listening to podcasts about it anymore.
Right.
They will when the new season starts.
It'd be roughly like doing a Firefly podcast, which
Exactly.
would be cool.
Which
but
would
I
be
don't
very
know
cool.
that anyone would listen to it in any kind of
Yeah.
appreciable numbers. Not that that's what it's all about, but it kind of is.
Sure. Although people still listen to Lost podcast in huge numbers.
That's true. When they
Like
do
Jay and Jack do one that
but that's their thing. I had some votes for Sons of Anarchy, who actually
Oh, cool show.
Mad Brew, who is going to be doing Game of Thrones. He's one of our friends that joined us from time to time on Blue Yonder. He is a huge Sons of Anarchy fan. So, and he
Really?
actually talked about doing the podcast this season with his dad. Because they have a pretty kind of, and that's kind of like a Jay and Jack type of deal.
Sure.
I think that would be hilarious, but he and I might do that next year. We got some votes for Dexter, which I think both you and I are off the Dexter train.
No, I really like Dexter, but it's too far gone. It's
I think
5
it's
seasons,
also
6 seasons in now.
quality-wise has been a steady decline too.
Here's the thing. I don't really want to jump into shows that are too established. Breaking Bad and Mad Men are the exceptions because they're exceptional shows.
Right.
Like they are the best of the best on television.
Right.
So I want to cover those. But
The other one is Justified, which I talked to you last week. I'd like to do Justified.
I don't know anything about the show, but I'll definitely check it out.
Okay. And then some people said that for other back catalog that like to do The Wire and Sopranos.
Oh.
I don't know about The Sopranos, but I am going to do a in-depth, detailed, kick-ass, definitive The Wire podcast one of these days. And I've got some like surprises. I'm going to try my damnedest to get celebrity inputs on here, get celebrity reviewers.
Get Jason Whitlock involved.
That's going to
go.
be. I'm already trying to work him real hard.
Are you?
Yeah,
Good.
I'm working that Indianapolis native angle pretty hard.
Yeah, for our listeners, they should shout
I'll
to
even
him
lie
and
and
say,
say
hey.
I was a Jeff George fan all my life.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. But let's get right into the feedback. Mike from Illinois. So our feedback was mixed, and Mike is one of the ones on the con side. He said The Walking Dead for him is wearing thin. It's like a high school play with great zombie effects. I can't believe the stupidity of these folks. Herschel said it best. I can't believe you dumb bastards survived this long. Shane's twitchy, eye-darting, guilty looks are killing me. Don't know how much longer I can hang on. Probably not as long as Sophia in the woods, but I'll try. Man, if you don't like the show, stop watching it.
Oh, how many times we've been told that. If you don't like the show, what the fuck are you doing a podcast about it for?
I'm going to go to iComments reviews and give you 1 star, Mike. And say if you don't like it, stop watching it. Mikey D from Virginia. He says a better episode than the last couple as far as the characters acting in character, but there were still some things that bothered me. First, where did the seemingly unlimited cache of ammunition come from that they can afford to waste it with that shooting range?
Good call.
Good point. Second, and the show has established that noise attracts walkers, so why set up your shooting range with your back so close to a tree line? Ooh.
Yeah.
I thought he was going for the why would you set so close to the farm, but he zigged and he should have zagged. That's true.
That is true. They should have pointed at the opposite direction.
Maybe they got
Shooting
someone
into the
maybe they got
woods.
someone walking out, looking out for walkers.
Maybe.
Third and related, Shane and Andrew is shouting and shooting in the actual woods with no lookout and potential for emerging walkers. Thank you. I think I just found my 4th critique for the week.
Yeah.
It seems like the writers only want walkers to be attracted by gunfire when the writers want them to be. That's hacky writing. You got. I mean, this is where I think my lowered expectations are coming in. That my suspension of this belief is being recalibrated because you're right. Those are all solid reasons. On the positive side, when Dale was giving his lecture to Shane, I kept thinking about the part in The Dark Knight when the lawyer tries to blackmail Bruce Wayne and responses, do you think the person that beats criminals a bloody pulp with his bare hands and you want to blackmail him? Thank you. Had the same thought.
You stole all of our listeners' comments this
I
episode,
did not.
didn't you?
Damn it.
Didn't you?
See, if we did this on Monday night, this kind of shit wouldn't happen.
Yeah, that's it. We got to beat him to the punch.
So then for Shane to respond with the same tact made me cheer a little bit because that's a logical response. Hell yeah. It's a nice little bitch slap right back at Dale, who, though correcting his assertion, is way over his head in his accusation. That is all. Mm-hmm. Joe H. says...
Shane could snap him like a twig.
Yeah, and he's also a pretty good shot. I have yet to see Dale shoot anybody, even though he's the one that I've seen. Off. Yeah, true. Joe H. says, Secrets was the best episode since the Zombie. Just that scene, not the whole episode, in the first episode of the season. Glenn is fast becoming my favorite character next to Daryl. I must point out that the Pharmacy Smackdown featuring Gerber, which that's the machete he's talking about,
yep.
Assuming that you don't have a bludgeoning weapon on hand, showed that he is as valuable as any adult in the group, as Maggie pointed out, and should not be relegated to walker bait anymore. It's the best episode, the best scene in the episode. I don't know if it's better than either of the Dale scenes or the Rick and Lori showdown, but it's pretty solid.
Yeah,
had a zombie in it. It's got that going for it.
Yep. Do
you think it's ethically irresponsible to have sex? No, never. What the hell, Joe H?
Well, finish the sentence, man.
Okay. Do you think it's ethically irresponsible to have sex, even just a quickie, when you're supposed to be searching for a lost child?
Well, yes, of course, yes.
No, I don't know, because I don't know that. At this point, I don't know. They do a good job in the comic where you get it in the minds of the survivors that some of them aren't sure about Rick. You know, the group. The group chooses to follow Rick, but not everybody is on Team Rick. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Where
Shane is definitely not on Team Rick right now.
They make it seem like Shane is the only voice of dissent with Rick's game plan, and I think that a lot of these people don't really buy the fact that Sophia is out there, so the sense of urgency is pretty low.
I mean, name me another person who's not against Rick on this, or I'm sorry, who is against Rick on this.
Well, but
I mean, Shane.
But they're
nobody.
What I'm saying is because you're not seeing these characters having their own private conversations.
Sure.
I mean, the voice of the sin's been T-Dog when he was, fever mad talking about the redneck. So,
but then he took all that back.
He goes, he thinks you should wait until you're back at camp and officially off duty. As far as Sophia, whatever. 72 hours in a walker-infested woodlands, exposure or possible injury is considered dead. After Z-Day, you don't search for bodies. It's the only thing I really agree with Shane about. I'm still pissed off about Otis, by the way. In my zombie apocalypse world, as long as a group member is not actually being eaten and is still moving, no matter how close the zombies are, you still try to keep them alive and not kneecap them so you can survive. I mean, he really had time to fight for the bag. There was time to drag his fat ass along.
Apparently, this guy's on Team Rick.
I agree. I think that the show should have done a better job of making Shane's choice look, if we were going to have any kind of sympathy for Shane. And maybe that's what they didn't want us to. I think they should have made that more of a tough, boy, it's me or him, and in the moment. But the way they shot that made it seem like it was something Shane just did for the shit of it.
And I think they played that right, in my opinion, because Shane has done a lot of shitty things so far. I mean, rape being the least of them,
Right.
Or being the most egregious. But, Shane
least defensible, anyway.
Yeah, Shane does things like that every once in a while. So he's not totally a good guy, and I think they're trying to point that out.
Michael M. thought this was a pretty good episode. I liked it was off to a quick, witty start. It became clear to me that, I know, breaking chicken legs and throwing them in the walker is hilarious. It became clear to me that Shane is the father of Lori's baby when they framed the nice father-son shot of Carl and Rick. They did this exactly as Andrea made the comment to Shane, you decided not to leave. Something changed your mind? Oh, so he's saying that this was kind of like a little bit of foreshadowing. But that would mean that Shane knows that Lori's pregnant?
I don't know that Shane knows that yet.
Maybe I'm misinterpreting what Michael's saying here. Dale's expertise is a smoother over Shine. It seems like that's his true value to the group. He does seem to be the diplomat. Mm-hmm. Rick and Lori seem solidly unmatched. Zombies or not, any baby born at any time faces a myriad of challenges in life. Did they have this talk when Carl was conceived? Sheesh.
I think they have a little bit more of a challenge in this world.
Maggie relating to the walkers as people was strong. If Glenn had the hibachi sword on his belt, it's a Gerber. No. The whole time, why did he initially hunt around for something else to whack the zombie with?
Heat of the moment.
I guess.
He just lost his head.
I guess. But overall, this is a good episode. I like the psychological interplay and the mastering of mind over fear. The courage of honest, blunt answers was also appealing. Slates were cleared. Have a great holiday. You too. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
I'm thankful for such thoughtful listeners. Shane in Atlanta, number 1. I'm so glad that he is, through the zombie apocalypse, getting these missives out to us.
Yeah. I want to know, is he doing this from like a phone? Is he doing this? Is there a computer on the farm?
He's using Rick's CB to Morse code it out over the internet.
Yeah.
In binary.
To Morgan. Morgan, that's his name.
There you go.
Yeah.
So calm down, people.
Yeah, don't send any emails.
Delete the email out of your sent mail folder.
Or at least take the curse words out.
You guys should give some love to Bear McCreary and the music he does for The Walking Dead. I'm a big fan of what he did for BSG, which is Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, me too.
And his work on this show is effing fantastic. On his blog, he explains the music of episodes. He reveals the unusual instruments used in the compositions, the reasoning behind certain musical elements, as well as the reflects on cues and sequences that he thinks worked and did not work. Check his blog out, and he gives us a link. It's Bear, like the roar bear, McCreary, McCreary.com.
Yeah, I have to say that probably my favorite part of Battlestar Galactica was the music. It was so good, and it's just as good here in Walking Dead.
Yeah. He says, also, one of the things I think you guys did a good job with your Breaking Bad podcast was that you discussed the ideas and commentary of other critics like Sepinwall. I wish you'd do that more with The Walking Dead. Like, so-and-so had this idea. What did you think of that, Aaron? It enriches the discussion. Plus, we'd learn more about your favorite The Walking Dead commentary on the web. Your Breaking Bad podcast turned me on to Alan Sepinwall, and now I read him on the regular about a ton of different shows. Again, like I alluded to, is like I just haven't had the time to read the episodes. I hope to get back to that when things clear up a little bit, but this is a busy time for me at work, and I just haven't had the time to do that research. I do read Sepinwall every week. I do read a few others, but like I was reading 6 and 8 of those every Monday morning for the Breaking Bad. And number 1, I haven't wanted to know as bad because, you know, the first 2 episodes, unlike the first episode of Breaking Bad, didn't like grab me by the balls and keep pulling me along. But I just also haven't had the time. So I would like to get back to that too. Maybe I'll try a little bit harder moving forward. He also isn't crazy about us weekly threatening to leave the show if it doesn't step up in whatever department.
Yeah.
And he thinks we should try to minimize that. So I was like, okay,
fair enough.
I'm mostly trying to not say like and as much.
Yeah, whatever else comes out, fuck it, it's going out.
When I get that mastered, I will try to do more meta things. But yeah, I'll try to do that. It's just like I'm trying to not say the R word. So... Shane in Atlanta, he says, no shit.
What would be the R word? Can you say it on there?
I can't.
No, okay.
I have to go to their back catalog. He says, Shane in Atlanta, no shit, and I'm bald too. He also has an insight on Shane's baldness. He said, I once shaved my head after I found out my girlfriend was cheating on me. I was pissed and frustrated, and for some reason I took it out on my hair. Shaving your hair like that says 2 important things to people around you. 1, leave me alone, don't fuck with me. And 2, I'm going through a transformation, a process of redefining who I am as I cope with something important, in my case, a betrayal. Shane has been through a lot, and killing Otis definitely changed him. His bald head is a reflection of his transformation. I like that.
That's pretty insightful. I'm going to add a third to it, which is it says, look at my lobes. Because, good Lord, full effect this week.
Right. In my case, I shaved my head last year because I was losing my hair, and I wanted to be okay with that. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to, is this the hand you're dealing me, Mother Nature? Well, fuck you.
Take this.
And it turns out it's like, I looked okay with a bald head, so I started growing it back. Tom and V in West Virginia. I always want to say VW because of the Volkswagen thing.
Tom from a Volkswagen is where he's emailing us.
He says if this show is sponsored by Hyundai. Get it straight.
Sorry. Whoa.
If we're to start doing Breaking Good type predictions, someone's got to get killed by that ricin. I'm not giving up. Dale's going to get it before season's in. My money says Shane finds a way to dispose of him. Now, I got to say, if this is an official prediction, are we talking about the end of season like next week or end of season 2 proper in 2012?
We'll give him into season 2 proper.
I think he needs to clarify that next week.
Okay.
Professional podcast critic. God damn, what is wrong with me tonight?
That's a hard sentence to say.
Professional podcast critic that sells seashells by the seashore, Daniel W.B., does not like. He is like sending sentence fragments. His will to keep professionally podcast critiquing is ebbing. He says stagnation and even more characters to dislike. Maggie pulls a nutty on Lori. She clearly needs to get out more. Carl's 3-day return from a deathbed. Dale comes off like a complete tool, sticking his nose in everyone's business. Stick to fixing the RV, old man. Lori coughing up 14 to 20 morning after pills. No Daryl. The shiny new Hyundai. The random junk grab. Carol's pathetic disinterest in finding her daughter. No progress on the zombie barn plot. What's the like? Damn,
Man.
When he puts it that way, I'm kind of like, fuck this show.
Nah, I got to be the voice of dissent, Daniel. I think they did a lot of movement on the plot. I think the only thing that's stagnating is Sophia now.
I will agree that I thought we would see some shit happen with the barn.
Sure.
And I'm surprised at how little shit happened with the barn.
That's got to be coming next week.
Yes.
It's got to be the cliffhanger.
Yes.
Like,
we have
the
extensive.
zombies
We
bust
basically, if you stay with us through the spoiler section, we're going to spoil the shit out of next week's episode. So unless you want to know everything that happens and all the important reveals, do not listen after the spoiler.
It's a
music.
dramatic reading of the script.
Yes, basically. Dan T says, first things first, Andrea looked somewhat bangable in the scene with Daryl. Yes, because she was not showing much emotion. That's my theory.
But only somewhat.
It annoys the hell out of me that she feels a constant need to run with the big dogs. I bet that Hyundai smelled worse than a barn full of walkers after their sexcapade.
Oh, God.
I said on Facebook, I said, it reminded me of the soup kitchen scene from The Other Guys. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Shane in every dramatic scene looks like he's watching a high school tennis match. Yeah, because he's doing with the head.
Sure.
Out of all the survivors, Shane is the most appealing to the walkers because of the tasty-looking lobes, of course. Somebody needs to keep their hair clippers away from Carol. Something tells me that Lori is a pro when it comes to vomiting immediately after ingesting.
Oh, harsh, man.
I'm sure when shit was going down, the first thing she did was drive to the mall and clear out the entire boys rack of boys' jeans at Gap Kids for her and Carl to share.
Wow.
Quick fact, her real life middle name is Wayne. I'm sure there's a story behind that, but I don't care. Glenn's English speaking has dramatically improved since his co-starring role with Harrison Ford. Oh, at a Short Round reference.
Wow.
Maggie was born and raised in Philadelphia, then went to England and got a case of the Madonna. Did you know that that's true? She's American. She just studied in England.
I thought she moved early.
I read a
early.
Wikipedia. They acted like I don't know. I'm not going to defend it. I'm going Dan T's take here. How come we never see the professor without his bucket hat? And last but not least, in what aisle can I find some of those quote unquote abortion pills? Dan T laid down the law.
We saw Dale without his hat last week.
Did we?
Yeah, he was sitting around talking to people with no hat.
Oh, that's a source of his power.
I know.
He can't diplomat without that hat.
Yeah, he put it on to go talk to Herschel. And
it's like Johnny Cocker said, you cannot diplomat when you're not wearing that hat.
Boy.
Brian 8
Moving
said,
on.
I thought this episode seemed contrived. Another hater, particularly Maggie's ridiculous explosion over her walker encounter and Andrew's transformation into Annie Oakley while making one point-blank zombie kill. They could have at least given us one episode to loathe her thoroughly after almost killing the best character on this show. Brian, I will agree with you. We need some closure on that.
Her shooting Daryl?
Yeah, we need her to go the fuck away for an episode and then come back, and I might have been ready to buy this transformation.
I don't think you're going to get it. I think that was the closure. Daryl just saying, hey, don't worry about it. Just don't do it again.
I actually like the scene between Herschel and the dumbass Dale where he confronts him about the barn filled with quote-unquote sick people, especially when Herschel compared schizophrenics and The Walking Dead, and the writers need to stop beating the Lori doesn't walk her children... Wait. The Lori doesn't... Well,
they're out of leashes, clearly.
Oh, Lori doesn't want... Yeah, she would be that parent that has her kids on leashes. Lori doesn't want her future children, to live in this world plot into my head. I couldn't agree with you more there. Sorry about the plain comment. I'm basically the Jason Whitlock of Breaking Bad. I take the show way too personally. Oh, he had the mother of all pedant moments when I was complaining about the show crashing 2 737s. He's like, it was one 737, the other was a charter plane.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's the little context on that.
Well, I didn't know that.
Arjun V says, looks like you were wrong about the Dale taking it to talking to Shane. That was the only time I've ever seen an AMC preview be completely honest and straightforward about a dramatic revelation like that.
I thought he was talking to Carl, personally.
Really?
I know the kind of man you are.
I kind of thought it could have been Glenn. Anything but a straight up being what it was about. I was a slow clap for them.
I thought he was talking to a walker.
Dark Passenger from our website says, I enjoyed this episode. Could have been better, but not really complaining. Andrea is not forgiven. Hells no. Well, it seems like they aren't afraid of giving a gun to her after all. I guess that she is going to be the comic book Andrea.
Oh, spoiler city.
Really.
She's turned into
she's
it
just
already.
a good shot.
Yep.
Carl's up and running this fast. Kind of surprised me. As for Sophia, or whatever her name is, I couldn't care less, really.
Yep.
I was also shouting at the scene, heck yeah, when Glenn told Lori about her being too skinny. I guess everybody was thinking the same thing. Andrea, I don't get these folks. I mean, I tune in and watch the show, but every time a new episode comes in, it's as everyone's changed. Kind of schizo, split personality stuff going on. I'm saying that, yes, there is some of that, but it does seem like the writers are circling and triangulating on the characters, and they're finally getting their motivations at least somewhat correct. Which is what drove me crazy. It's like, Andrea was kind of like this uber strong chick, and then she was this wimp, and then now she's back. I don't know why and where and how, but I think they're getting there.
Well, a lot of the problem with my connection with these characters has to do with the fact that I don't know how much time has passed at this point.
Right.
Since they got to the farm. Like they don't show anything
last episode
necessarily contiguous,
Shane said that there was 72 hours. Mm-hmm. And in this episode, I got to think that there can't have been if a week had elapsed, surely they'd given up looking for Andrea or Sophia.
But we don't know that. I mean,
I know.
There's not a lot of indication about how long it's been.
Not a lot of good time cues.
So I don't know if they've had time, if Loria's had time to think about this child thing, or if she's just reacting in the moment, or what.
Honestly, that's true of the comics, too. I found that I was constantly, other than the weather changing, I was really nebulous about how long they'd been here. And every once in a while, a character would say, wow, you made a lot of progress in the last 3 weeks. I'm like,
yeah.
So maybe they're keeping real with that. Ron from Sin City. Secrets is the best episode this season. I like that the story and its characters seem to have time to consider the situation, the gravity of the circumstance, and the episode. To be sure, Lori has been mulling this notion over regarding Carl, but it seemed as though the others were not aware that they were in a seriously terrible situation. I was listening to Steppenwall's podcast today, and his partner Dan said that this show is doing a better job spinning its wheels this season than last, but still it's kind of annoying. Uh-huh. And I think the difference between like a Breaking Bad style slow burn and what The Walking Dead's doing is Breaking Bad opened with a bang.
Yeah.
And then set things in motion that we watched happen over 5 episodes. And, like, the tension was unbearable. The difference here, we don't know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. We're just
they're heading to Fort whatever.
Yeah, we're kind of confused about what they're doing. Like, they're looking for this girl, but they don't, as people have pointed out in the feedback, they don't seem to be that serious about it. So I wish, I think if episode 1 and 2 were really good and had set a clear mission for the rest of the season, that we would not be as antsy about these episodes as we've been.
I also think that they kind of negated the Fort Benning or Fort whatever thing that they started, because their whole goal at the beginning of the season was to get to Fort whatever it's called.
Benning.
And then they got sidetracked with Sophia, and now that doesn't seem to be their goal at all. Their goal is to stay on this farm.
Right. And now that they've seen that you can have a relatively safe life on a farm, why would you want to go to Fort Benning where the military and a bunch of people are? I mean, is that, you think that they would maybe think that that's not the best idea? Maybe we just need to find an isolated piece of farmland.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which you would think you'd be able to find in rural Georgia. Anyway, back to Ron. He says, the plot has lurched forward finally, too. I like that there's some real tension developing on multiple fronts. I appreciate how Dale dealt with the secrets and employed different tactics for each person. However, I was a bit puzzled by his rather direct confrontation with Shane. I suppose Dale is a bit love-struck and thus didn't think it through, but still, knowing what he does about Shane and what he suspects, I think a little more caution would be in order. I didn't think he snapped.
Yeah.
Seeing them being like that was just too much for him.
Yeah, and his sex detector went off, and
yep,
he went in Dale mode.
Dale's a strong character. I hope Shane does not pull an Otis on him. I like that.
Kneecap him in the barn.
Yeah, going to Otis him.
Yeah.
He's the moral compass for the group's concern, and that is needed in the show. I know Rick is also a moral compass, but his focus is not the same as Dale's, and it makes Dale see things more clearly. I've been a little irritated about Herschel and his desire to see the group go. It does not seem to make sense to send this group...
Can we go back real quick to Dale?
No.
Because I like that Dale is kind of similar to Rick. He's got the same sort of motivations as Rick, but he doesn't have the kid that he's necessarily worried about.
He doesn't have that blind spot.
Exactly. So he's a little more, I think, a little more rational than Rick at times.
I've been a little irritated by Herschel and his desire to see the group go. Dale, just to go back to that, Dale's weakness, I think, is he's a people pleaser.
He is, yeah.
And that will, my prediction is that's going to bite him in the ass. I've maybe literally. I've been a little irritated by Herschel's desire to see the group go. It doesn't seem to make sense. It doesn't add up, but I understand more clearly now. Herschel operates under the notion that God will cure the problem, hence the barn of dead, and all will be good. That'd be a great movie title. Barn of the Dead. Romero, get on it.
It's his next one, actually.
This idea is expressed best with Maggie's frustration that Glenn refers to the dead as walkers. As I watched, I could understand why Herschel's family maintained that perspective, given that they have been relatively, or so it seemed, removed from the carnage that Rick's group has faced. Faith versus reality. I like that. I also did not like that Shane and Andrea's careless venture into the subdivision. Yelling and moving deeper into the bowels of the house seems so damn stupid.
Yeah.
So we kind of beat that paragraph into death. I'm going to skip that.
All right.
On the Bravo Company, who wrote a scathing review of this episode, and I'm only going to read excerpts because it was long and it was extremely, like, our first episode turned to 11.
Wow, okay.
He says, answer me this. Why the hell does Glenn take the time to grab a shelf to defend Maggie when he has a goddamn machete on his belt? And who else knew that he's going to get laid after that? Official prediction, killing a zombie gets you some poon. Speaking of that, Andrew sure wasn't complaining about Shane's services. Maybe Maggie picked the wrong leader. Whoa. Yeah, there wasn't no talk of, it's 11 minutes, I'm not going to get back with Andrea.
That's true. Yeah, she seemed pretty pleased.
Am I the only one who sees like 5 brand new trucks and SUVs in the background when Shane and Andrea drive in a neighborhood? Hey, Andrea, on the way back, you take the shitmobile and I grab one of those Expeditions. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Shane even looks like right out a Z71 Chevy quad cab with his binoculars. When they get back to Carol's like, anything? I'm starting to think Carol doesn't even remember her daughter's name by now. I know half of our listeners don't.
Yeah.
Every time Dale opens his eyes really wide, it makes me think he might be shitting his pants. And stupid Lori leaves the pill packages out for Rick to find when she was trying to keep this big pregnancy secret. My only defense is I think some people want to be found out. And it's like a psychological problem where they do these things to make sure that they're caught because they want to be. And I think that's a case of she did that because she wanted Rick to know. Deep down subconsciously.
Okay, there's that. But there's also, she panicked. She just swallowed pills that were going to kill her kid, and she wasn't sure she wanted to do that.
But it made it seem like the way this thing was edited that happened like an hour or two. Like she could have gone back from throwing up and, oh God, buried the pills. Or thrown them down the well.
You mean between the time she threw up and the time Rick
confronted
talked
her.
To her. Yeah.
Right. Because
okay,
he confronted
maybe.
her with the pills, like,
that.
what's this, you know?
Yeah.
Doris Day, The Earth Stood Still, said, I thought the episode was pretty good. Seemed like they packed perhaps a little too much into it. That's because the show can't pace its goddamn self. It has to. I felt like they were jumping around a bit too much. However, this is the first episode where Dale didn't come off like an idiot in one way or another. Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm still of the opinion that episodes with the least amount of zombies are the best. It seems that way.
We had we had a few zombies in this. Quite a few, actually.
Well,
the whole scene in the neighborhood, there were tons of zombies.
Right.
Glenn killed a zombie. I think there were plenty of zombies.
It was kind of ho-hum because those zombies were played as not a threat. Like, even Shane is like, look, I'm waiting for you to kill the zombie.
Yeah.
Are you going to kill the zombie?
That's true. There was no imminent danger there.
No.
But there were more zombies in this than there were last episode, right?
Well,
there was
there's
just the
more
one
than
with Daryl.
one. Yeah. Oh, there's 2, I guess. I thought the well episode.
Oh, I guess the barn full of zombies.
Yeah. There's a lot of zombies in this episode. What the hell, Doris?
All right, just call out our listeners. Fine.
Are we ready to initiate the outro?
Sure,
or the
let's do
outro,
it.
as I got it in my notes now. If you want to see what we're doing throughout the week, catch up with our podcast, look at my survival review. If Jim gets off the can and writes some original content one of these days, you can find that at baldmove.com. Please send us feedback at watchingdead@baldmove.com. You can also join our Facebook page at facebook.com/baldmove or tweet at us at Twitter @baldmove. Yep. We try to integrate as much of the feedback as we can. I think the only one we don't really do is Twitter that much.
But I pretty much respond to everybody who messages us.
So you get if you don't get a response like, wow, it's probably because we're reading it on the cast. We try to respond to the stuff that we don't respond to on the cast. Please support us by leaving 5-star reviews on iTunes and subscribing. You don't have to. You can leave us a 1-star review, but that's not exactly supporting us now, is it?
Sure. I do want to thank everybody who's left reviews the last couple of weeks. We've gotten a surge.
Yeah, we're up to like almost 90 now.
Yeah, and it's pushing we got into the new and noteworthy, not in the like featured section,
right?
But you guys helped us get there. We really appreciate that. So thank you.
And I would say that our traffic now is pacing ahead of where we were with Breaking Good. So
yeah, it's
we
right
appreciate
there.
all that support.
If this were a full season.
And you can directly support us again with the Amazon.baldmove.com link. And that takes to Amazon. Anything you buy through that link, we get a teeny tiny portion of it. Again, it costs you nothing. It's not like they add that percentage too. Amazon just shares a little bit of their cut with us, and it helps us pay for the not inconsiderable bandwidth bill that we shell out every month. So again, everyone that does that, appreciate it as well. Ready for spoilers?
Sure. I'm ready. Right. I did kind of want to pimp because we talked about like the pacing of stuff in the first season or two here. I did want to pimp one more time that Walking Dead Apocalypse fan edit.
Fanedit.org.
Yeah, go to fanedit.org and check that out because that is really, really a good re-edit of season 1.
And an indictment of the pacing because it's only 3 hours and 15 minutes long and there was like 6 hours of footage. So.
Yeah. So it cleans up a lot of pacing problems.
I can't wait to see what he does with this season, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I think it was not as much good stuff at the core, but, you know, with some creative editing, it could have fixed a lot of the problems.
Yeah, so check that out if you have time. Let's go into the spoiler section.
And again, do not stay with us through this music unless you want to know what happens next episode. Because I've got the whole thing.
We're dropping spoiler bombs, so stand back. With that said, until next time, I'm Jim.
And I'm Aaron. See you next week.
All right, let's go ahead and play the preview for next week.
Next week on the mid-season finale of AMC's The Walking Dead.
So, barn's full of walkers. What's gonna be, man? Which way does this thing go?
We don't know if we're gonna find her, Daryl. Can't lose you, too.
Rick ain't built for this world. We need to stay. We can survive together.
I'm telling you we can.
Enough! It ain't like it was before!
A special look at next week's mid-season finale of The Walking Dead will be revealed during Hell on Wheels, next on AMC.
Whoa.
It looks like this shit is going to hit the fan of the barn.
There's some shit going down. And not only the barn with Sophia. Did you see what Carol said there?
Oh, about the Daryl?
Yeah, we don't even know if we're going to find her. Well, I don't want to lose you, too. I think that's her saying, Daryl, stop looking. Stop going out there. You already got hurt once.
Well,
you could have died.
I think it was her basically saying that he shouldn't go out alone because he's been recuperating and everyone said no more solo expeditions. Maybe she's trying to Shanghai him at the beginning of the next episode. I don't know.
Well, he's better off alone, as he said.
So anyway, the spoilers we're about to talk about are from a blog post and some sleuthing on Reddit. And it's not sourced at all, but I've seen a little bit of the spoilers last week, and it seems like it's really coalescing into almost a complete understanding of the episode, but and also they leaked the spoilers for episode 6, and they were pretty much spot on. So that kind of really leads credence to episode 7.
Okay.
So Glenn's going to tell at the beginning of the episode the rest of the group that the walkers are in a barn, which is going to have everybody lose their shit. Yep. Rick and Herschel argue, and Herschel demands the group leaves within a week, which that was the bonus scene that we saw during the Hell on Wheels.
Really good
watch
scene.
That.
Yeah.
So then Rick uses the excuse that my wife is pregnant on Herschel, and he also does it to Shane to calm him down. But apparently Shane becomes convinced that Lori's baby is his, so that's not going to help us save anything either.
Great.
Then Dale decides it'd be a good idea to take all of Shane's guns and try to hide him in the swamp, but Shane tracks him down and stops him. And then Dale basically says, I know that you killed Otis.
Wait, go back. Herschel is going to hide all the guns.
No, Dale.
Oh no, Dale.
Yeah, he's going to
You
try to hide all of
dumbass.
Shane's guns.
Oh God. Shane can beat you to death, you know.
So then this is weird. Herschel has Rick help him and Jimmy. Wasn't Chris apparently, it was Jimmy.
Oh, okay, good.
Fish walkers out of a nearby pit of quicksand and lead them into the barn with snare poles.
Oh, Rick, you dumbass.
And he says the group can stay on the farm if they agree to help and not kill the walkers. They arrive at the farm the same time that Shane emerges from the swamp and with a cache of guns, and Shane loses his shit. Breaks the lock on the barn.
Good.
And everyone kills the walkers one by one.
Good.
As they come out, and the final zombie that emerges is this one.
Oh, shit.
Which is we are looking at a picture of zombie Sophia.
Dude, that's awesome.
I like that.
That's a very good twist.
Almost makes it work out because there's so much
Almost.
and that's where the episode ends. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be so much fallout because, like, one of the first questions, if I'm the group, is how the fuck long have you known that you've had this little girl in this barn? When are you going to tell us?
Yes.
We deserve to know, asshole.
They didn't tell us that. Not only did they not tell them about the walkers in the barn, but that they've been risking their lives to go look for this girl that isn't alive.
Yes.
And they know it.
So there's still some secrets that haven't been come out. The other thing is, because this also makes me feel like I really was right on about when Maggie shot that significant look at Herschel when they're talking about the walkers. Like, I actually think Maggie knew about this and wanted to tell. So a lot of people said that this was not true. It wasn't. But I
we'll
think
see, because, I mean,
it's definitely
I
the
don't
same
know.
shirt. I think it's the same actors. I don't think that was photoshopped at all. And this just
if it is
script
Photoshop,
matchups.
it's a really good job. We did see a whole bunch of Photoshop jobs of people from the cast
Right.
zombified.
But this
looks a little more legit.
And also, it's interesting is that, like, I guess no one shoots Sophia. Rick is the one that finally steps up and shoots her with a 6-shooter, which is a nice little throwback to episode 1 of season 1.
Yeah, with the
And man, zombie kids,
Wow.
creepy. Jesus.
I gotta say, if this comes true and this happens next episode, I'm sold on the show again.
That's what I'm saying. And I also
Like, I'm
think that this
reinvested.
almost makes it worth the whole Sophia thing.
Man,
If
they
they
still
play
could have
it
trimmed
right.
it down a little bit,
yeah.
but that's a really good way to bring her back.
Yeah.
Way better than having her come back with Merle. Way better than
that'd
having
have
her
been
just
strong.
be alive out in the woods.
Right. Oh, that would have been
Yeah.
infuriating.
Yeah, total bullshit. But this is good.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, then that makes my spoiler stuff seem like
Also,
bullshit.
look at her picture, because I can see you thinking that this person could be cured. Like, if this is the condition that the average walker comes on to the farm, you know, and apparently I'm guessing she died of exposure, probably. Unless we see her
maybe.
being bitten, I mean, I think she probably just died of being left out.
Well, Robert Kirkman did say that they were going to address how you become a zombie, right? Like, they were going to say, "Oh, does blood get in your eyes?" or whatever.
that's right, because we're in the spoiler section. We can in the comic,
Yeah.
anyone that dies is reanimated. It doesn't matter if you just die of natural causes.
So this, if they looked at her and could tell, hey, nothing bit her, nothing like that,
Yeah.
she just died and came back. They knew she was alive before.
That would be a good way to reconcile those two.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got a bullshit spoiler now compared to that.
Well, yeah.
The housing development. We could talk a little bit about that. How
Okay, because I
in
think,
the comic book.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think that they did a very compressed version of the Wiltshire Farms storyline from the comic right there when they went to the
Yeah, I'm hoping
residential
so.
community.
But isn't that where they found
Tyrese.
what's his name? Tyrese or Tyrese. I don't know his name.
Well,
Didn't they find him in that housing development and then stayed there? They
No, they found-
divvied out houses for everybody.
they found him to stop before that.
Okay.
But yeah, they were starting to do that. And
They
found out-
started handing out houses and clearing the whole development. They had a big gate in the front where
Yeah,
no
but they
walkers
didn't
could
do
get
that. The second day they found that the whole place
Yeah.
was overrun and they had to flee.
in. Yeah. They were thinking that. So they may have done a compressed version.
Yeah, I think
unless they
that
go
was a
back.
nod to it. I think that
The
honestly, I want to see him go to Fort Benning at this point.
Sure, I do too. But I could see like Herschel still holding strong and saying, "No, get the fuck off my farm! Now you just killed everybody."
Oh, by the way, a spoiler: one of our friends, our personal friends, spent time in Georgia and actually talked to the people that scout the locations for The Walking Dead. And they're saying, and I wasn't sure. I think it's for season 3 because they were at season 2 in a can. They were scouting prison locations.
Yeah.
So,
which we all know from reading the comic.
If your comic, that's a huge storyline, is them taking possession of a prison, and I'm actually super excited about that.
Me too. If they don't go to the prison, I'm going to be severely disappointed.
Oh, they will. I just think I don't think we're going to see it. I think now that the climax of season 2 is going to be going to Fort Benning and finding out that that's been
Everyone's
overrun
dead,
and
yeah.
everyone's dead. Although you'd think you could defend the military base pretty well too.
Yeah,
Or
prison-
maybe they've come across a prison on the way to there. I don't know.
Well, the prison is where I felt things really heated up in the comic.
Yeah.
The prison, we introduced a few new people, and they were total wild cards.
Plus, they could stop surviving and kind of like have some more character development beyond just
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think Herschel's going to kick them off this farm after they kill all of his quote-unquote family.
Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of shit that we can that'll be interesting.